Hello viewers, today I'm working on a 2012 Ford Fusion with the 2.5 liter engine, and so the customer came to me because they attempted to replace their headlight bulbs, and they ended up breaking the two wires for the connector on the left side. So they want me to repair the wiring and to replace both of the low beam headlight bulbs with some aftermarket LED bulbs. Welcome back to the Moose Mobile Auto Repair channel. And so I can tell just over here on the left side, I can tell that they left a few things apart and they didn't put it back. So I'll have to see and find out on what happened here. So the first thing that I notice is that this piece, trim piece, I'm not sure on where this goes. And I also noticed that the two wires are broken over here, and the grommet is missing to close the console here, to close the housing. When you go to the other side, it's a lot more difficult to access. I think that this side was untouched, and so there are no low beam bulbs at the moment on either side. So they want to replace both of them with the LED style type bulbs. They left some bulbs and connectors and stuff in the back seat. So this is the style bulbs that they want to install aftermarket. So hopefully they work okay. I don't know if this is like an H11 or 9006. I'll try to put the part number on the screen for you guys if you want to know on what the part number is for these bulbs. So this is the connector they provided me with. So the wires are not easy to access from here because I'm not able to reach them properly to add a extra length wire or to attach this to over here. So I need to get inside here somehow easier so I can join the wires, solder them, and heat shrink them. So I removed the two bolts here. I just want to get this out of the way so I have some more room to work, so I can get access to the wiring. Move the AIRBOX out of the way instead because I'm having some trouble removing this bracket. So I'm probably just going to remove the AIRBOX out of the way. Air filter, AIRBOX out. This you pull it out. There is some water in here, So that's not good. Some water. You won't see the air filter wet. Sometimes if you're not careful and you drive over a huge like puddle, or if you drive in floods, it's possible to get water sucked into the intake, and that could damage the engine. Well, I found the grommet here. It was hanging over here. So the first thing I'm going to do before I hook this up, just want to verify for power and ground. So I think this is power and this is ground, but you should never assume things. So you want to make sure that you're hooking it up to the proper wiring. So I'm just going to hook up the power probe just to quickly check for power and ground. I'm going to turn on the headlight switch after. Right now the headlight switch is not on. That's ground. This is getting like 5 volts. I think this is positive, but it's not turned on yet. I'm going to show you guys again. This is going to be ground. Ground. I'll need to turn on the headlight switch now. So the headlight switch is turned on. This is getting power. That's getting power. Just trying to show you guys on camera. That's getting power. That's getting ground. So again, don't always assume that something is power or something is ground. You just want to make sure, even though that the black wire is color coded, black usually means ground, but still, you want to make sure and verify that you are connecting the proper wires. So anyhow, I'm going to start repairing the wiring by removing the insulation. I'm gonna remove the insulation now. Make sure the wires don't touch, otherwise you'll short it out. You have to be careful. So I'm also going to trim off the part on the wire. This is it says on the wire it's a 16 gauge. So we're going to trim that off. So I cut some heat shrink. So I'm just going to put the heat shrink through here for now. I made a large piece because I want to secure the whole thing. This we're just going to tie this up now to the positive. Trying to get, it's hard to get a little bit access in here, but it's okay. It's okay now after I remove the airbox because it'll be extremely difficult to repair the wiring. Think on what we'll do first is do just one at a time. Just go from there. These wires look very cheap, so Chinese stuff. I don't know if it's any good. The customer provided the connector. That's why I made the wires very long so that I'm able to attach them properly. Trying my best to twist the wires onto each other so that they stay secured. Wires are very sensitive, so we're going to solder this now. I don't know if you guys will be able to see anything on camera. At the same time, you don't want to burn the wire, right? So you need to be very careful. Let's go underneath. Trying to pull it back and forth just to make sure it's in properly. I'm probably going to smooth out the solder a tiny bit. I'm just probably going to smooth out the solder just a tiny bit. I'm just going to stop now. It's hard to get it perfect. I'm just going to put the shrink wrap over that. I want to pull gently just to make sure your connections are good, and proceed to the next one after that. This way I don't need to worry about anything, shorting anything out after I'm done the other one. So we're gonna do this one now. At the same time, because I want to make sure this wire is secure. These wires are very thin, so they can easily detach if they're not secured properly. You put the heat shrink over that, and then use the heat gun to to shrink wrap or heat shrink this. Use the heat shrink. You need to be careful to not melt anything in the vicinity. Make sure that you don't melt anything that's plastic in the area and where you're doing the shrink wrap. So you need to be careful. It's all good now. Everything is is nice and tight. And you can wrap wires around there if you want. And I may do that. You can use electrical tape just to wrap it around, and you should be all good to go. So the customer provided me with some LED bulbs, so hopefully they fit and work. I'm going to install them inside the housing. I think that seemed to go in okay. On these ones, from what I know, the LEDs are supposed to be pointing in the 9 and 3 o'clock position when you have them installed. Otherwise, they won't work properly. I'll show you on what I mean in just a moment. So I'm going to hook up the electrical connections. Now the issue is there is a grommet that comes here to close up the housing. So I don't know if there's room to put the harness in. I don't know if there's room to put the harness inside here. That's the issue. There's no room, so I won't be able to put the grommet inside because of this aftermarket uh, ex- accessory. It just prevents water from coming in. So I may need to mount this here somewhere or make some modification and to close the housing because this piece can't go in here unless I make a hole. But that's going to defeat the purpose of this thing because this is to prevent water and moisture from coming in. There's no way to install that back because of this guy. This is not your regular standard uh, housing thing. So I might have to secure this uh, somewhere with like a zip tie or something. This piece is like a heat sink, so I think it gets hot. So I might have to mount it somewhere where it's not going to melt anything. So now we are going to turn the headlights on. And it's working now. So I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I put some electrical tape or duct tape to cover up the wiring. Either works fine. So I'm just going to tuck that in there. We're going to use a zip tie to secure the heatsink down. So I'm probably going to mount the heatsink somewhere here. Looks like they tried to take this apart earlier. So I'm probably going to put it somewhere here. There's the hood cable that's in the way. So I'll probably have to mount it so that's not touching anything. So I'm probably going to mount the heatsink somewhere here. Looks like they tried to take this apart earlier. So I'm probably gonna put it somewhere here. Just leave that there. So now I just need to put everything back. I believe this went somewhere here on the side. I'm not sure because the customer had this taken out. So I think it's somewhere underneath here, maybe. I'm not sure. So I'm going to have to leave the grommet off because that's going to is going to interfere with the wiring. I'm not able to close it up, so I'm just going to leave it out. It's supposed to prevent any uh, moisture from getting inside the housing. So now I'm just going to put everything back. I think we're all good to go on this side. So I had some bolts that I took off that I did not need to take off. So I'm going to reinstall them back off camera. And then we are going to proceed to do the other side. So this is the LED bulb that the customer provided. So when you install this inside the housing, you just got to make sure that when you lock it into place, that the LEDs are facing at 9 and 3 o'clock a position. You don't want the LEDs to face 12 and 6 or any other position, because otherwise it's not going to work properly. It must be between the 9 and 3 o'clock position. Otherwise, it's not going to work properly. So now I have the wheel off just for ease of access. I'm just going to remove the plastic trim clips so I can get access to the passenger side low beam headlight bulb. So I'm just going to take off the trim clips. I'm just trying to replace the bulbs without taking off the bumper. I don't want to do all of that work. So I want to try to take a shortcut and get access to the passenger side bulb. It snowed a tiny bit last night, and now it started to snow again now. So I'm just trying to see if I can get access here from the passenger side. Probably have to remove some more of the clips out of the way so that we can gain access to the bulb. So there's a clip here. Just trying to take off on what's needed. You don't want to create too much work for yourself. You just want to remove the bare minimum so that you're having just enough access to work around. You have to remove the bottom panels here, clips or whatever. So there are some bolts here. They are 7 millimeters. I'm working in the snow, so it's a bit hard to see the bolts here. It's a bit hard to see the bolts because of all of the snow and the ice. What else is left here? I just need to get this loose, and this one came off for some reason. I don't know how or why. And so this is out now. So we're just going to remove this out of the way just to get it onto the side. Have to put this aside. So now we have access to the housing. So the camera is a little bit in the way. So I'm gonna remove the grommet piece out. Remove that. And then we're going to remove the bulb. You just need to turn it counterclockwise, and then you'll be able to remove the connector. Or you can remove the connector first if you want, and then you can remove the bulb if you want to do it that way. If you want. So just using my fingers or my nails to push the tabs off of the connector, and you get the connector out. So it's out, and I'm doing this blindfolded, by the way. I'm not even having a look inside there because the camera is in the way. So the bulb is out. Make sure that the gasket, the seal is still there when you remove the bulb. And then we're just going to install the aftermarket LED bulb now. So I shine the light down there with the flashlight. I don't know if you guys can see that. So I'm going to reinstall this. Hopefully I can get it in. So I need to line this in the housing. Should be able to lock in place. I'm hoping I got that right, because these LED bulbs need to be in a specific position. They need to be in the 9 and 3 o'clock position when you install them. So now install the connector. Just trying to see where the wiring is for this stuff. I'm going to put the connector in. Trying to do it as a one-hander. Hopefully I can get it in. See, just can't. Just trying to see where I'm at. Just trying to line up the connectors now. Let's get my other hand in there. I'm trying to do it using one hand only. You heard the click. I got it in. So I got it in now. Probably going to mount this here somewhere. And we are not going to put the grommet piece back because the customer provided these aftermarket LEDs, so I'm not able to get the rubber grommet back in. So we are just going to leave them out. I already advised the customer that water could get inside there, but they said okay. So I don't know. Just gonna put a zip tie here somewhere, and then that's it. So we just installed a zip tie over here to hold the heat sink down. So we're going to cut that off, and then that's it. Just make sure you verify that the headlights work, and then you should be all good to go. And you just need to put back the inner fender liner. So make sure the headlights are working on both sides, and then you should be all good to go. One thing I wanted to mention is that the projector for this headlamp assembly, if you look closely, you can see the two dots on where the LEDs are. They're pointing at 9 and 3 o'clock. So that's how you know if you did it properly. So that's how you know that it's in the proper way. Otherwise, it'll be in a different position. So you can see it from here. Now, unfortunately, on the passenger side, the projector is different. It's not the same, so you're not able to see it. I believe this vehicle it may have been in a minor collision and may have had the headlamp replaced at some point. I'm not too sure, but this one you can't see because the projector is different, so you're not able to see it. I double checked and I triple checked to make sure that the bulb is in properly, so everything is okay and working. So what's left now is you just need to put this back, and then you should be all good to go. Just the opposite of a removal, and and then that's it. We are just going to put the clips back. Just need to line this up. I just installed the one just to hold the liner in place, so I don't have to fight with it. So we're going to install the 3 screws back in, and there's the one here that was loose, so we'll try to fix that afterwards. So I'm going to install this back in. The splash shield here is kind of like bent, so it's a bit hard to reinstall, so I'm going to have to fix it up. I need to line up the screws. lines in. They can be tricky to line up. This one is bent, so that's the main issue. The screw is missing. I think it's missing something. I'm gonna try to fix it actually. It's not in right. I'm going to have to fix this up because I think this is supposed to be under or something. It doesn't seem right. It supposed to be underneath like this, I believe. It's all bent and stuff. Need to tighten this up. I think that's good. Something is messed up on this car, so this thing is bent. We're just going to try to line this up and get it inside the hole. There you go. Now it's in. We're all good to go now. Everything is all in. So I just wanted to mention this vehicle originally is equipped with the H11 bulb. So it takes the regular halogen H11 bulbs. So it's a H11 over here. So I just wanted to show that because it wasn't showing properly on camera facing me. So this is the bulb that you need to replace the low beam headlight. So everything is all working now. Both bulbs are working, and they are the LED type bulbs, and so the customer is going to be very happy, and I will be able to send them on their way. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to give it a like, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day and take care.